Hardest. Sorry it's been so long since I made a video. I really don't have a valid excuse of why I haven't made any. Besides it's a lot of work and editing time. And coming up with ideas is sometimes hard. But anyway, I am now back. For those of you who are new, this is a crafting channel where we do everything from DIYs to thrift flips. Pretty much anything that you can craft at a low cost, we'll do it right here. So guys, for some reason I have a feeling the next couple of videos are all gonna be kind of Disney themed. The last video I did was Snow White themed. There isn't any particular reason, it's just kind of the crafts I've been thinking of. But today is dun 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 dun. So I recently watched The Mandalorian with my boyfriend, and I absolutely loved Baby Yoda. And I don't know if it has to do with me having a fascination with the Muppets when I was younger, or just all the adorable memes, but I freaking love Baby Yoda. And so I made this super cute succulent plant holder with cute Baby Yoda made out of Sculpey, and I'm going to show you how to make this today.
Hey guys, sending lots of love to you Hardest out there. Okay, to get started, we're going to figure out what jar to use. So I used a Oui Yogurt container because first off, Oui Yogurt is absolutely delicious. Second, they're really easy to wash. You just put them in the dishwasher and then you peel the little sticker off. Peeling the sticker off is probably the hardest. Sometimes you get lucky and they come off really easily. Other times you get the sticky residue. For that, there's like Goopy Gone. I think I used a little bit of nail polish remover, which sometimes works. It doesn't always get everything off, but it gets most of it. Okay, so next you'll need to get some tin foil or aluminum foil. I don't know what the proper term is for it. But anyway, you're going to need that to make the inside of Baby Yoda so you don't use a ridiculous amount of clay. Oh, look how cute he is. Oh, baby. Anyway, we're going to be mimicking this image. We're going to make Baby Yoda holding the plant holder, holding the plant pot. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. So first you want to make a small ball. I guess it's bigger than a quarter. I'm trying to think what size it is. It's kind of the size of like a peach pit. And you want to wrap that and make sure that it's solid all the way through, because if it's kind of hollow on the inside, it won't work and it'll change size. Next, you're going to make his body. It's going to be kind of a similar shape, but you have to make sure to smash down the bottom of it so he will stand straight up. This, I want to say, was about the size of my fist by the end. No, I guess it was a little smaller than that. Just look at the video and kind of estimate the size. I don't really know how to tell you the exact measurements of it in a day-to-day object. I mean, it's like the size of like a giant egg. I don't know. Next, you're going to take a toothpick and wedge that in between the head and the body. I accidentally poked it all the way through the head. You do not want to do that. If you do, no big deal. Just cut the toothpick short so you don't have that issue. You might want to do that prior, or stick it further down into the body so you don't have to worry about it poking through the head. Also, I apologize for my voice. I'm having really bad allergies, and so I sound like I'm dying. I promise I'm okay. Just bad allergies and maybe a sinus infection. Ugh. Okay, so next you want to take the aluminum foil figurine that you made and smash it into your... That way you won't smash the clay that you've sculpted later on in the process. You can just sculpt around this shape that's already been pre-made. Like I said a little earlier, you want to make sure that the bottom of this tin foil is flat so Baby Yoda will stand up. Next, you're going to take some white clay. Now, I couldn't find my clay rolling pin. I highly recommend using one of those. But anyway, I kind of just ended up giving up and smoothing it out using my fingers around the head of Baby Yoda. And you don't have to keep the head on the other part of the body. the full time you're sculpting, I actually recommend you take it off because it's going to make it really hard to sculpt around that and even hold it. You need to make sure you have a semi-thick layer of clay because you will be making indentations and adding other layers of clay onto that, and you want to make sure that you have enough clay to dig into without hitting the foil because you really don't want the foil to show in the end product. Don't feel like you have to put the clay all in one sheet. You can put it on bit by bit and then smooth it out. I highly recommend to pull up a photo of Baby Yoda as your reference, just because it makes it a whole lot easier. So I noticed that I accidentally made my Baby Yoda's head a little too oblong. So right now I'm just shaping it into more of a circle. So just be wary of that. Definitely scroll in. I am now making 2 little balls. These are going to be kind of his chin and cheek area. I guess it's more of his mouth than his chin. But you want to apply little balls that are roughly the size of like big earrings, and then smooth those out to make the puffy cheeks. Oh look, it's my baby in a little hot cocoa cup. Back to Baby Yoda, the other baby. And then I added that little piece, which is about the size. It's very, very small. Just use your fingernails to kind of pinch a little ball, and that would be around the right size. And then you're going to go ahead and smooth the top of it to kind of create the bridge of the nose. And right now I'm taking a toothpick to create his little mouth frown. Actually, I don't even know if it's a frown. It's just his resting face. And it's kind of just a little slit. And then I'm going to carve out kind of the shape of his eyes, or rather his eyelids. And now I'm just kind of going to dig out a little spot for where we're going to put his eyes. We're not going to put the eyes in quite yet, but I want to have a general idea of the location of the eyes. And mind you, these are kind of in an almond shape, but you also And then flatten it out as so. And then you want to give it a slight little curve, but not anything crazy, because it's not, Baby Yoda is not like a cat and not a dog that has his ears perked up, but he does have a little curve at the tip. I cannot stress how important to smoothing it down in the back and on the top and the bottom is. This helps keep it secure. So at this point in the video, I was thinking about changing it to this smaller glass cup, but I changed my mind because you have to kind of buy those in other places, and they're more expensive, and the Oui yogurts are just way more practical and more available to people. At this point in the video, I switched to this blue background because you can see it better, and I don't know why I keep doing white clay on a white background. But anyway, okay, so now I'm adding a little bit more of the facial lines. So he did have a little lines coming down from his nose and kind of old man crinkles around his lips, and so I added those, and I wanted to do it very, very lightly because we don't want Baby Yoda to look old, but we still want him to look like Baby Yoda. And he does have this little heart shape kind of near the top of his nose. I feel like I made the heart a little bit more prominent than it is on the actual puppet, but you know, it's okay. And then I took a little smoothing tool and smoothed it out just a little bit to make it look a little bit more natural. And don't be scared to use your fingers either. Like, sometimes you'll leave fingerprints, but not always. And then I drew a little line down the heart, and then I'm adding his forehead creases. And he has a couple of different creases in his nose too. The one I just added is kind of in a triangular shape. And this is what he looks like so far. You always want to kind of scan the head to make sure you don't have any unwanted cuts or marks. Next, we are going to start on Baby Yoda's little robe. I used a pasta machine to roll out the white clay so it would be thin, and honestly, so I could use less clay instead of just loading on the clay. But essentially how you use this is you take clay and you soften it up, and then you put the pasta roller, pasta maker, I don't know, on one setting, the largest opening setting, and then you slowly go down and make it thinner. So this is the largest setting, and you also want to rotate the way that you put it in too. So I put it in that way, and then I bring it through that way, and essentially it kind of looks like pizza dough by the end. And just depending on the size of what you are making Baby Yoda, it's dependent on how big you need to roll this out. You may need to use 2 little slices. My goal was to make it just 1. I think it ended up being number 4 on my pasta machine. And it took quite a few times to get that right, guys. Like, it kept breaking, and yeah. But I'm sure you'll figure it out. And if not, add his little eyes, and this will take a couple of times to get the sizing right. I debated on whether or not to just put his eyes black, but I changed my mind. And I guess for the arms, I forgot to record, but essentially what you do is you roll out little long snakes and then press it and smooth it onto his body and then make a hand shape, which I think I only gave him 3 fingers. You don't even necessarily have to do the fingers. You can just do a ball shape and then smooth it out. Next, you're going to paint the wee can. I decided to go with this earthly brown color. And you essentially need to get ceramic paint and then you bake it in the oven. So next I am totally forgot to mention that you need to bake Baby Yoda. So you bake him in the oven at 225 for about 15 minutes. I accidentally baked him a little bit on a higher temperature, and so his ear is burnt a little bit, but that's not a problem because we're covering him with paint. Now, Baby Yoda is actually kind of like a minty green color. He's a very light green, and I didn't have the precise colors that I wanted. So luckily I had this nice light blue that I ended up mixing with some greens, which I guess I'm cleaning up a mess right there. See, there's the lovely blue I was talking about. And now if you're not super particular like me, you can always just buy green paint and just paint him a darker color, but I wanted the really cutesy look. And like, I don't think I really need to explain too much into the painting process. You just paint those certain colors. Now his ears, I ended up painting all green, but recently I noticed that his inner ears actually have a pink hue. I have not decided if I'm going to go back and change that or not, but for this tutorial's sake, he is going to have just green ears. Next, I started painting the fur part of Baby Yoda's robe. I took this vanilla color that I had and just started dabbling that onto his little jacket. And then I took a deep kind of brown color and mixed that with the vanilla because I realized the vanilla was a little too light and almost looked exactly the same as the white clay. And I did a couple of different hues on the fur, so I dipped it in the brown just to add some more texture and shadows.
And here is the finished product. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button right now. And until next time, this is Brianna signing off. Almost forgot that end bit.